It's opening day, April 5th, 2012. We're at Progressive Field, where Cleveland and Toronto are tied at 4 in the 16th inning. Upon entering the 16th inning, this became the longest opening day in history. And it's not over yet. Opening day holds hope for every team in the league, and these two clubs have a lot of reasons to hope for better times ahead. And they would like those better times to begin now. Or, I don't know, maybe 2 hours ago would have been fine too? Look, we all like baseball here, but it's cold. Nobody expected to have to eat dinner at the ballpark when the game started at 3, and it's been tied for 7 innings, so some of the fans you've seen here tonight might want to ask, why won't this game end? Especially this guy. He looks really cold. To properly answer that question, they have to rewind. This episode of Rewinder is presented by T-Mobile. Get free MLB TV with T-Mobile. Redeem today at T-Mobile.com/MLB. This was a sellout crowd so excited they tailgated in the parking lot before the game.
Had more of a football kind of an atmosphere.
But it's been 5 hours at this point, and as you can see, just the diehards remain. This game's already lasted an hour longer than the game with the most innings ever. In 1920, the Boston Braves and the Brooklyn Robins, or Dodgers, got through 26 innings in just under 4 hours. Fewer commercials in 1920, just the one for Miracle Tonic, I think. I mean, tonight's game could overtake the record for longest game by innings. We'd just need 11 more, which, if we take the average inning time thus far, carry the 2, would take approximately another 3 hours. But even if the game does not go another 3 hours, it's already in the record book as the longest opening day. There have been a couple 15-inning openers in baseball history. A marvelous one in 1926 between Washington and Philadelphia. I think back then people really wanted the games to go as long as possible because what else are they going to do for fun? Read? Make butter? Cough into a rag? The other 15-inning opener was played in Cleveland, just like tonight. That one was in 1960, so it's possible that someone who attended that record-tying game is also at this record-breaking game. Any 72-year-olds around here? Maybe this guy? No, hey, there's a Toronto fan. And I understand why he's still here. This could very well be the year Toronto turns things around, and he's got a chance to say he was there when it all started. The Blue Jays won the World Series in 1993. Hooray! Since then, things have not been as celebratory. That's an 18-year playoff drought. They've missed the playoffs for the amount of time it takes a baby to become a man. Their drought is the legal drinking age in Canada. For a decade, Toronto has been almost exactly 500, which is just kind of good enough to keep hope alive. You can't write them off, but you can't uncork champagne either. In the past 4 years, they've finished 4th in the AL East. And you might think, oh, actually, I can write them off then. But look, 2 of these are winning seasons. These aren't really bottom of the division numbers, unless you're in the most dominant division in baseball, which, unfortunately, our feathered friends are. The Jays have more wins than any other team that hasn't seen the playoffs in more than a decade, which I don't think makes them feel any better. For a long time on the Blue Jays, the attitude was simply, 3rd place was the best you could do. The Red Sox and the Yankees were just unbeatable. But in 2009, Alex Anthopoulos became GM, and he loaded up on young players full of hope and enthusiasm. And the attitude shifted. Also, probably helped that those young guys were added to build around Jose Bautista, a breakout star and the 2-time reigning home run leader. When he did it in 2010, detractors said it was a fluke. When he did it again in 2011, detractors got real quiet all of a sudden. Now, last season wasn't all Bautista celebrations and upbeat attitudes. There were reasons Toronto lost half their games. Pitching was a little ugly, as was their defense. The guy protecting Bautista, Adam Lind, faded in the second half of the season, and the less protection, more pressure combo messed up Joey Bats. But all that stuff is easy to ignore when assessing this year's prospects because, 1, Toronto wants to,
2, Anthopoulos made moves to remedy pitching and defensive ills.
3, Lynn said he was in better shape. And 4, the league added another wildcard spot. So yeah, 2012 might just be the year the Jays bust up their drought. This team does not plan to top out at third place. Veteran Omar Vizquel likened the Jays' new attitude to that of the 2010 World Series runner-up Rangers. And look what happened in spring training. That's the best record in spring ball. Playoffs, here we come. So no, this guy isn't going home before the end. He wants to tell his grandchildren he was there the moment the great turnaround began. But all these Cleveland fans want to tell their grandchildren that too, just about their team. In 2007, the C's took the Red Sox to Game 7 in the ALCS. Since then, things have been less good. Before I throw up last year's record, I want to talk about it a bit. Nobody expected anything from Cleveland in 2011. Why would they? But the ball club started 30-15. They led their division for 95 days, and they did it with dramatic flair. Their greatest strength was the bullpen. Dubbed the bullpen mafia, they killed with ruthless precision. A bullpen good enough to inspire t-shirts was just what you need when it takes your offense a while to get going. But the good times didn't last. Injuries decimated the franchise. They used the DL 22 times. Only 10 players from the 2011 opening day roster stayed healthy the whole season. And they had offensive problems. Sure, sometimes the offense got going late in games, but sometimes it just never got going. They finished 15 games behind the Tigers. Very disappointing. Although, you can't help but wonder, what could they do if they were healthy? 2012 was playoffs or bust. And the way opening day started, it sure looked like everything was going to plan. They scored 4 runs in the bottom of the second. Justin Masterson left the game after the 8th with the C's up 4-1. He threw 10 strikeouts, allowing just 2 hits, and the 1 run, which was a Batista homer, so forgive him. Then, closer Chris Perez of the bullpen mafia came on in, and instead of firing the gun and committing quick, clean murder, he bobbled it and shot his team in the leg. And we've been tied at 4-4 ever since. Not that this game has been devoid of excitement. The home team got extremely close to ending this 3 times. Our potential heroes tonight were Casey Kotchman, Jason Kipnis, and Asdrubal Cabrera. Let's start with Kotchman. This game could have ended in the 9th. Imagine, Cleveland had a runner on third and just 1 out. Casey Kotchman had a chance to bring home the W, which would have been a nice little underdog story. The first baseman is new to the franchise this year. Last year he was with the Rays, and he actually wasn't on the roster for opening day. He did eventually get called up and, surprisingly, had a career year. Cleveland signed him in February after considering other, more desirable players. Kotchman's not bad. He has a very good glove, but Cleveland needed offense, and even in his career year, Kotchman was not a power hitter. He could, however, get on base, and maybe even bring a guy in from third.
Comes to him, high chopper to first. Batista will make the play.
Kotchman is not our hero. Okay, 2 outs. The C's still had a chance to end this in the 9th with their next batter, Jason Kipnis. Called up in late July last season, he smashed 7 homers and brought in 19 runs in just 36 games. All despite having a warm-up routine a trainer called ballistic. And tonight, the young power hitter stranded the runner on third. Okay, but bottom of the 12th, Cleveland had another chance to end it. Bases were loaded, and potential hero number 3, Asdrubal Cabrera, was at the plate. This was very promising. Last season, Cabrera gave the Cleve a reason to believe. As a big hitter and as a leader, he was largely responsible for their surprise early run. Now, Cabrera didn't start out as a star. Before 2011, he had just 18 home runs in slightly more than 3 years in the bigs. But then, during last year's spring training, veteran teammate Orlando Cabrera, no relation, saw Asdrubal hitting homer after homer and asked him why he doesn't do that in games. The younger Cabrera said he was only concerned about batting average and on-base percentage. Swinging hard would mess that all up. and Orlando was like, you should hit homers in games. Orlando was right. Asdrubal did get worn down as the season progressed, but that's not an issue tonight. This is game 1. He couldn't be fresher. But Toronto got a little fancy. They brought in 44-year-old Vizquel off the bench as a 5th infielder. Flustered, Cabrera swung on the first pitch into a double play. And everyone you see here had to text home, never mind, not leaving yet. Could you take the dog out? And now, JP Arencibia, part of the Blue Jays youth movement, has a chance to be the hero. For Toronto. For Cleveland, he has a chance to be the villain who makes all these people regret their decision to stay. With the 2 runners on, can JP Arencibia end this game? Maybe.
In 2010, he hit 32 dingers in the minors, which impressed the Jays so much they traded away competent catcher Mike Napoli and gave JP the starting job the following season.
In his very first big league pitch, Arencibia hit a homer. He had another homer and 2 more hits that game too, so very nice day for him. The 2011 season wasn't bad for the catcher either. But before we head for the exits, let's remember that he wasn't the most consistent last year. And also, he doesn't have a hit tonight. It's hard to predict what Arencibia can do right now. Sometimes he smashes, sometimes he whiffs. But opening day is all about optimism, and this young man has the potential to rise to the occasion, to be the guy to kick off his team's historic turnaround, to throw question marks and cold water on another team's potential historic turnaround, and to send these cold, tired fans home to their warm beds and comfy pillows and their office reruns or sleep aid of choice. Welcome to a moment in history.
Long drive, deep left. And that is gone.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and thank you to our Patreon subscribers. So, what do you guys got going on for the rest of the day? You can watch more videos, or check us out on Patreon, or do something unrelated to us, but be secretly thinking of us the whole time. You have options. For Secret Base, I'm Clara Morris. Good night and good game.